Hey guys, how's it going? We are back. Um, Hopefully the thunderstorms are all done. That's what the weather is saying anyway, and the sun is back out. So we're gonna try this again. Now going into the Cancer and Leo readings. All right. So everybody is welcome, regardless of where you may have Cancer and Leo in your individual birth chart. Um, what was I going to say? Yes, let's go ahead now and check to make sure that our sound is good on YouTube, and that we're also going live on Facebook. Okay, sound is good. Let's go to Facebook real quickly. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm just fixing something here. So I've got okay. So that should be good. Let me just. One more thing here, guys, and then we'll get started. Sorry, thank you for your patience as usual. Um, okay, so let's now go ahead and do a quick sound bell for everybody to kind of ground ourselves, to clear any energy, or just take a couple of deep breaths so we can get back into the zone. And going forward, we'll be starting with Cancer for your June readings, and we'll be after that moving into the Leo readings. And I will be providing timestamps after the live is done for some people who just want one or the other. Granted that we get both signs done in the same reading, otherwise I'll switch the title later and it will just be one or the other, just depending on how things go. But fingers crossed that there's no more thunderstorms. All right, so yes, let's go ahead and do a little sound bell here. So this is going to be for Cancer for June 2025. All right. We're gonna just prop this up over here. Okay, so If you're new, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back as well. But basically, when I shuffle the bones and charms in this little bowl, they do make a noise. It's not forever, so just bear with me during that time, but that is how I shuffle the bones and charms. Okay. All right, thank you guys for your patience and understanding. Spirits, please guide my hands. Messages for water sign Cancer. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for water sign Cancer, the crab. For their highest good for June. Messages for Cancer. Messages for Cancer. Make sure I get all of the bones and charms out. Okay. Spirits guide my hands. Spirits guide my hands, please. Messages for water sign Cancer the crab for June 2025 for their highest good. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for Cancer. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for water sign Cancer for June for the highest good. Spirit, grab my hands. Messages for Cancer. Messages for Cancer for June. Spirit, guide my hands. Messages for Cancer. Messages for Cancer for June. Spirit, guide my hands. Whoa. All right. That was a jumper for sure. Yeah, it fell like that, so I'm going to leave it. But I did kind of hit the table to make it stop. So that's interesting. We'll come back to that when we read that one. Okay, so right now I'm going to be flipping over some of them just so when I bring the camera down in a few moments, you can see everything more clearly. I'm moving them some over. It doesn't change their meaning. It just again means that we'll be able to see them more clearly. Okay. All right, so that's good. Maybe one more. Good enough for now. I will take a picture at the end, and I always will post them on my Facebook page after the live is done. So if you want to look back at it again later. But that looks like good enough for now. So also before I take the camera down, I want to see where Spirit wants to start this reading because it's always different in every reading. So just bear with me one moment, guys. One more second here. Spirits, where would you like me to start this Cancer reading? Just double checking. Okay, they want to start right here, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put my little pen there, like right here. So yeah, let's go ahead and bring the camera down before I get too into it and lose my train of thought. Okay, so hold on, let's go for a little ride here, guys. Okay. So, as you can see, that was the one that like almost jumped off the table. So, like I said, we'll get more into that later. But the majority of your bones and charms this month, Cancer, are pretty spread out. Um, but I would have to say, right, that probably the two busiest sections are relationships and love and work and money. Okay, with a lot of stuff showing up here in the past. Doesn't mean that there aren't things in the other sections, but um, you can just kind of plainly see that that is where a majority of them went. Okay, so when that happens, it could just be spirit wants you to focus more on these areas or for someone else. Okay, so as you come to this reading, like it could be about you, it could be about someone else, multiple people, general environment, situation. So always take it how it may resonate for you, and that's why I always tell people to check out your full horoscope, right? So even if you don't know your birth time, you can get a free birth chart online, and you can check out like where your sun, moon, and rising or ascendant signs are in. Okay. All right. So anyway, they want to start right here, which is interesting because it's right on the line between these two sections. Okay. So this is body and mental health, and then we have the spiritual unconscious here, Cancer. Okay. And the energy was pulling me to this ship charm and also to that dog ankle bone. So it was like really right within these three kind of, and also the listening bells. Okay. So let's kind of start here. So this section, right? If we're talking about the spiritual unconscious, okay, what does that mean? That could be your intuition, that can be your gut reactions to things, what you feel when you're alone or at night when you're sleeping, that kind of thing, okay? And then body and mental health is pretty clear, hopefully, and we'll get into that because whatever falls in the line applies to both, right? But I want to start in this section because that's, again, where the energy was drawing me, okay? Um, so with this ship charm being right on the line, okay, this can represent travel, okay? And since we're talking about in this section, it can be like 5D travel, traveling, like astral travel, traveling in your dreams or spiritually in some way. I just flipped it over so you could see it, okay? It could also be talking about something about being close to water, all right? But when you put it kind of in that triangle energy that was drawing me like that between these three, okay, it's like listening to something here spiritually, unconsciously, listening to something about travel or listening to how we can be closer to water. And then there's something here, Cancer, and it does make sense, right? Or depending on where you have Cancer in your chart, being a water sign, okay? But there's also this dog ankle bone, which represents flexibility. So it could be like listening for ways to be more flexible with travel or be more flexible with being by water or something here. Okay, this also does make sense even if you weren't a water sign, Cancer, because water is a conduit for spiritual energy. Okay, and so it is about our emotions, right? Water is about emotions, and so that can also be spiritual and unconscious energy, definitely. Okay, but I want to look at what else is here that kind of went off the black mat and onto the white mat because it's still in those sections. It's just in past energy, okay, when it's off out here. And then when it's on the black part, it could be the black part of the mat. It could be more of current, future, present energies. Okay, but we would say that this is the past. Okay, so if I look at just these three here, and there's more, but we'll start with this, Cancer, that perhaps in the past there was some type of confusion, spiritual or unconscious confusion that needed to be cut away or still needs to if it hasn't happened yet, right? Since it's both in past and possible future, okay? And so there's a listening maybe for how to do that or when to do that. I feel like the when isn't necessarily part of it, but maybe the how is more what it's about here. But if we also, again, see this dotted line, right? If we follow it out and just pretend like it keeps going out, These two we won't talk about because they're applying more to here, but I just wanted to double check. So now we'll go back out this way, okay, and we'll again kind of roughly follow where that dotted line is, okay, to again see more past energy here. So all the way out here, and I'll move it up over here just so you can see it. We have the buckeye here. Okay, so this does represent abundance. So it can be spiritual, unconscious abundance in the past. And maybe there was a lot of healing energy also in some way here with the lizard. There could have been healing energy here, Cancer, around where you or someone else, multiple people, general environment, situation, finds their sense of freedom and safety spiritually and unconsciously. Okay, so this perhaps started in the past, and we see with this human tooth bone here that maybe someone was chewing over and digesting that. Okay, again, where to find spiritual unconscious abundance and healing and a sense of freedom and safety with that. Okay, now also in the past, if you put that human tooth bone right next to the coyote penis bones, one of the coyote penis bones, it's about being proactive or assertive or aggressive, right? With thinking about these things and how they can shape our spiritual unconscious environment, okay? As it leads into the spider and the spider web. Because then the spider and the spider web is touching the four-leaf clover, and these things are all touching each other. So they all, all of this, my gosh, right? It goes here, 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 here. That all still also applies to the spiritual unconscious, Cancer. Okay, and it's not a bad thing. We just have to make sure, you know, we show it and go over it. Okay. So I can see that like they're not touching the spider and the spider web, but we will talk about this other stuff too because it is on the line. But I want to continue on with everything first that is touching each other. Okay. So we were talking about the spider and the spider web and the four-leaf clover, which then leads into another human tooth bone here, and then a piece of the armadillo vertebrae, that white bone here. So it's like someone or some energy, you know, currently or coming up could be thinking a lot about, you know, how can I have more good luck in my spiritual unconscious or with my intuition. Also, someone or something could be thinking a lot about how to manifest more of a hard outer shell with that armadillo vertebrae, you know, bone, like within your spiritual support system. Okay, so that could be spirit guides, ancestors, passed on loved ones, friends, etc. Whatever you know you want to call your spiritual support system, and it can also be, of course, people that are still alive too. But we can see that, you know, up here now we have the raccoon claw, that we've got the baby face side up, and then we have the cat's eye. And it's interesting because the cat's eye is covering one of the baby's eyes too, because the baby's kind of on the side there, right? So this is like saying that even though maybe somebody or some energy wants to manifest this spiritual hard outer shell or unconscious or intuition, that that's not necessarily like good for someone's inner child or good for actual children in the 3D physical world, you or someone else's, but it feels more like inner child work because we're talking about spiritual unconscious. Okay, but it can be the other things too. But when we talk about the cat's eye, this is like the moon card in the tarot, if you're familiar, okay? So this means we're not seeing something clearly, and it's literally like saying that twice because then we can see that it is, right, I said before, covering one of the baby's eyes, okay? So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I would say that we don't have all the information yet. So usually when I talk about the cat's eye or the moon card in the tarot, I would say that it's like, let's say you're walking into your friend's house and you don't know it super well or whatever, and you get at night to go to the bathroom and get some water, what have you, and you don't turn on the light, so you don't have all the information on where things are, so you don't hurt yourself or bump into things. But if you were to turn on the light, then you would have more information. So here is like this person or this energy, you or someone else here, Cancer, doesn't have all the information spiritually or unconsciously yet. Okay, perhaps about how to get more good luck and work with the spiritual support system. Okay, but I do see, if we also go back down this way, that there's something, showing a lot of movement here. This could have something to do with travel or modes of transportation, but because we're still talking about the spiritual unconscious section, I would say that it could be, again, where we kind of started off with, going back to the ship charm here, talking about astral travel, traveling in your dreams or spiritually or unconsciously. So it's kind of like showing up here again. But it could also just represent movement, right? Like the bicycle wheels are moving, okay? So this is a big piece of the puzzle here, and there could be a big wish or group of wishes here about something to do with freedom, because we have the wish charm, then attached to Pegasus, the winged horse, and then it goes into the fork. So here, this is like asking, right, these kind of example questions, something like, okay, so what are we spiritually, unconsciously digesting, intuitively digesting? Okay, is it aligned with our spiritual unconscious wish and our goals? Okay, because if we go this way here, Cancer, we do have the symbol for Sagittarius, or the bow and arrow. This could have something to do with the Sagittarius, or during Sagittarius season, or maybe even where you have Sagittarius in your chart, but it doesn't have to be. It's really just about the spiritual unconscious goal. So where do you pull back that arrow and kind of hit your target? Okay. And then as we go this way, here, Cancer, now we have the hummingbird. Okay, and behind, or right next to it, on top of the hummingbird, is also Cupid. Okay, so the hummingbird is my symbol for being ourselves fully, or doing something non-conventional, doing something different, right? So the hummingbirds fly backwards, and the so-called regular birds fly forwards. Okay, so Cupid is my symbol for love, romantic love, platonic love, and self-love. So it could be that the people that care about you, right? Because if you follow Cupid's arrow, it's going back to the word spiritual. Perhaps they want to support whatever your spiritual unconscious goals and wishes are. And maybe they also, probably, if they care about you, right, they want you to be yourself, or they want to help support whatever this non-conventional or non-traditional thing is. Okay, this is also, the hummingbird is touching Leo the lion here, Cancer. So if you are a sun sign Cancer, or whatever your sun sign is, you're going to have a lot of stuff in your birth chart that is in the sign before you and the sign after you. So if you're a sun sign Cancer, you could have a lot of Leo placements. You could also have a lot of Virgo placements. Okay, so that's just interesting side note. It could also be you're dealing with someone who's a Leo, or Leo season, or something like this. But if we put all that zodiac stuff aside, or in addition to that, this could also be talking about passion and creativity, and all this wonderful fiery energy coming in, and maybe supporting this non-traditional, to be more yourself spiritually, unconsciously. Okay, with that hummingbird. Okay, now I want to go back up this way, because these things are also touching the first raccoon penis bone. And I'm just going to lift up the green lucky rabbit's foot and put it over a little bit, so you can see this one is now going that way, right? And they were touching because it was like that. I just slightly hit it. Okay. So when we talk about masculine and feminine, we all have both inside of us, right? Regardless of gender or how we identify, all the things. But this represents being proactive, assertive, aggressive with whatever this spiritual unconscious wish is, and having more freedom, and then going back to what are we spiritually unconsciously digesting, intuitively digesting, right? Because on one side here we have the mountain charm. Okay, so that does represent challenges, but I see that more as that could be a catalyst, because it almost looks like it's holding up, right? Because it's underneath all these other things, right? So we might not ask those deep, harder questions like, what am I spiritually, intuitively digesting, unless maybe we have some challenges or something here, okay? But if we continue onward, oh, this is really beautiful, Cancer. I haven't seen that in a while. So now we have the twin fish, Pisces energy, but the safety pin is going, I mean, the twin fish, Pisces is going through that safety pin, right? So this could have something to do with a Pisces during Pisces season, where you may have Pisces in your chart, or it's really like, how can we, or you or someone else, or the energy, go more with the flow and go with the tide and not against it, spiritually, intuitively, unconsciously. I mean, that's what intuition is, right? Where like my body, my senses are telling me this is true, right? Whatever we're talking about. So there's a beautiful safety in that, okay? And I feel like it's also saying it's safe to ask those questions here, Cancer, for somebody, or just for an energy. And then if we keep going with that masculine energy of being assertive and aggressive with these things, look over here, you have freedom again. So first here with Pegasus, the winged horse, and then over here, okay, now you have the freedom handcuffs on top of it, okay? So double freedom, definitely really cool. And who doesn't want to feel spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively free? I mean, I think everybody does. Okay, so this then goes into the inside of the turkey wishbone's legs, right? And so it's like, yes, that is confirming, okay, this wish or wishes, group of wishes for some type of freedom here. Okay, I'm just gonna move back. This was like that, I think. Okay, so look what's also inside the turkey wishbone's legs, part of the green lucky rabbit's foot. So there's all this good luck here. So beautiful. Move it back so we can see what else. Okay, and if we go now, keep following the ones, the bones and charms that are touching each other, is then this leads to this spiritual, unconscious, intuitive freedom can lead to even more abundance, right? Whatever we want to manifest in those areas. And then we have masculine energy again with this second raccoon penis bone here. And then it's touching the raccoon claw, okay? So it's like double, oh wait, no, that's the coyote penis bone. I said that wrong. Yeah, this, the big one is raccoon, sorry. And this is the coyote penis bone. So, sorry, that just threw me off for a second. But anyway, this is like, it's still double masculine energy, okay? And the raccoon claw is wanting to manifest, okay, over here we have the crown, okay, if you can see part of that crown there, okay? So the crown can represent an energy or a person that is higher up than us, that has more influence or more confidence or more knowledge. It could be your own leadership qualities here too, Cancer, but it does have like some kind of team working energy with it, okay? Because raccoons are a pack animal, right? So if you follow it, then it leads to very beautifully the skeleton hand, okay? So the skeleton hand is one of my symbols for passed on loved ones, friends, family, ancestors, spirit guides, right? And so it's almost like, and we're still talking about the spiritual unconscious, manifesting, okay, this abundance with your spiritual team, whether that's people and energies you can't see on the other side of the veil, and or also people that are still living in the physical world, whatever you consider your spiritual team, okay? Um, because it is, okay, also touching, and we'll see what's underneath this in a second, is we have the irresponsibility coin, okay? So someone or some energy could be irresponsible spiritually or intuitively. Maybe you or someone else in some way isn't listening to their intuition in some way. They're not listening because I can also see that there's a question mark here. There's a question or a doubt about some type of happiness. Maybe someone's doubting, well, can I actually be spiritually, intuitively happy? Okay, so I just moved the sun over so you can see the question mark. Now we said 1, 2, 3. Now we have masculine energy again with the masculine charm. Okay, so again, being assertive with this or proactive about this. But now I want to see, what's under here. So let's see. Okay. Interesting. All right. So, interesting but not interesting. It doesn't surprise me, and I'll pull it out and flip it. But this is one of the honeybees. Okay. So we were talking about working over here. Sorry, I hit the camera. Working over here with the spiritual team. Okay, that does make sense because the honeybee is like individual power, community power. Okay, so how are we working with our own spiritual, unconscious, intuitive knowledge and energy? Okay, but also how is the collective or our community like maybe helping us for these wishes and these goals? Okay, so yeah, I just feel like there's a little bit of some energy or someone like doubting this. Okay, and that's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But I guess sometimes when things do go well, if we've come from a period of time in our life where things were really not going well, then it's harder to trust those things, right? But look at all that good luck. Okay, so just I don't want you to forget that, Cancer. Okay. Um, yeah. So this is crazy, right? Because you have so much we haven't talked about. We're still only in the first section and we haven't even gone this way, right? I just knew like your reading was going to be needed more time and the thunderstorm to calm down that we had earlier. And then we have all this past stuff and all the different sections, but a lot of your stuff is touching each other and crossing those lines, okay? Now, I would say we do have also, if we look in this center circle, usually what falls in there affects all the different sections that we're talking about in your reading. But this bobcat tooth that's going through the center circle, and then it almost looks like it wants to support the green lucky rabbit's foot. It's like something about boundaries here. And since we're still talking spiritual unconscious, intuitive boundaries is like that's going to help you or help someone or the energy to continue to follow your North Star here, Cancer. Okay, with that bobcat tooth and touching the star. Also, really big this month, or it can go beyond June, right? What is time? Um, there's a deep, like, clearing and cleansing of something going on here as well with that feather charm, okay? Now, let's see. We started over here, and then we went up and around, and then we went that way, right? Okay, so I want to continue going down the line this way. Okay, that's kind of where Spirit's telling me what to do. So I'm just going to kind of turn this around a little bit so you can see it better, okay? So here, right on the line as well, Cancer, hopefully we get close, you can see it. Okay, there we have your angel coin, okay? And so beautiful, right? It definitely makes sense when we're talking about the spiritual unconscious for it to show up, right on the line majority of it in this section, okay? But I just feel like your spiritual team is just telling you again that they're here for you, okay? Um, and they want you, you know, to be successful. They want prosperity for you here with the fish. Um, they also possibly want to help you with that clearing and cleansing, because now we have two, right? We have that feather in the main circle that affects all the different sections, and then just in this section we have the broom, okay? um, so you know, spiritual team wants to help clean house, clear and cleanse and remove stuff that no longer is needed, okay? And your spiritual support system could also be going through some type of changes here, Cancer, okay? Because this, just so you can see, is right on the line. There we go, when the camera focuses. This is the snake vertebrae. So snakes are about shedding their skin and evolution and truth, right? They get a bad rep, or they're supposed to be seen as scary because the Bible and stuff, but there's deeper cultural beliefs than that, okay? Or in addition to that, let's say, because we're not saying bad about anybody's religion or anything, is that it's about shedding the skin and it's about that evolution. So your spiritual support system may be changing a little bit here. But there is also some type of leap of faith going on here with that, okay, with the frog here, and then its leg is then touching the horseshoe and the ladybug inside. So there's good luck, and this good luck here maybe is helping the some momentum for the frog to push off of that horseshoe, right? So I definitely like that. And then if we follow and go this way, now we have the second honeybee here at Cancer, and it looks like it's gonna fly almost, or its nose, right, is going towards the dog ankle bone from earlier, okay? So it's almost like there's something again repeated here about individual power and community power, and maybe finding some type of flexibility within those two things, okay, that will help you or someone else spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively, okay? There's a real big emphasis to go with the flow here, because this is a piece of, excuse me, the fish vertebrae, okay? So going with the flow here, water energy again, Cancer. And then I really like this, like this yin and yang symbol is in between the two words, spiritual, unconscious. So equal give and take, right? So I definitely like that. Now, I also wanted to go back here a little bit, because very close to Leo the lion over here, then we have the leaf, okay? And then we also have the mermaid. So this, when we talked about cleansing here 3 times now, right? We got the leaf here, the broom here, okay? And now we have the leaf. So 1, 2, 3, and then it being next to the mermaid. This is about clearing and cleansing stuff from a long time ago. Could even be like past life stuff. It doesn't have to be, but it certainly can be. Okay, so longing for, right? If we think of the Little Mermaid story, she's longing to be a human, but here someone's longing for, or an energy to clear and cleanse something here spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively, okay? Now let's see. I think we did everything in that section, but I just want to double check before we move on. So there was the dotted line. So we did this, did all of that. Yep, okay. Well, that was a lot, but we did it. Okay. So let's see where Spirit wants us to go next. I feel like they want me to go this way, okay, into your second kind of busiest section, so to speak, right? And this is your work and money section here, Cancer, okay? So this is also about finances, of course, is another word for money, right? But it's also about our sense of being valued. So if you're no longer working or you're retired, you can also look at it that way too, okay? I want to start with the past stuff because there's just so much. Okay. So we'll kind of like start here and go around and then like work our way in. Okay. Um, but yeah, I can see like right on the line here, right above the line. Okay, remember that dotted line? If we pretend it goes out and it's following like where my pen is, this stuff would be right above it. So I want to start there. Okay. So what is the past, right? It could be a couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. in terms of work, money, finances, or a sense of being valued. And here, there could have been like this energy to like really listen to, because this is my listening seashell, right? Feminine energy, listening to some type of subtle vibrations or communications about new ideas when it comes to work or money or finances or a sense of being valued. So maybe this started in the past, and then because part of it is starting to go on the black mat, that it's continuing on. Okay. Now, if we flip this over like that, because this listening seashell feminine energy was down more like that. Okay. Um, it's like listening for the details, something about going over the paperwork or the small print or fine details here with the strawberry was really big in the past in terms of work or money or finances or being valued. There could have also been here, Cancer, some type of message that you gave or someone gave to you, or it came in general. And this communication here with the envelope charm, very close to the corn charm, could have been about like um, planting seeds, something of substance, right? So we see the corn charm, it's not a flower charm, right? And so flowers are just, let's say, pretty. Some are medicinal, but we'll just say they're pretty for now, from what I'm trying to say. And then the corn charm is something of substance because you could eat it. So it's like in the past there was something planted that was going to give a lot of gains, right? Either with the work, the money, the finances, or a sense of being valued. Also, here in the past, Cancer, with that first skull right next to my symbol for Capricorn, um, somebody or some energy could have been thinking a lot about hard work and not giving up on something, or putting in this like persistent slow moving energy, but a persistent hardworking energy nonetheless. Okay, now this could have something to do with the Capricorn or during Capricorn season, or where you may have Capricorn in your chart, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, but I definitely see that energy showing up here too. Okay, now if we go further back this way, let me pull out a little bit. Okay, so I'll take my pen so you can see here, Cancer, we have the seahorse, and then now we have the second raccoon penis bone, and then it's touching this other human tooth bone out here. Okay, so this is can be about blood family. Okay, with the seahorse, people you're related to, and or it could also be about people you consider your people, your tribe. Okay, people you consider like family. Okay, but it could be that in the past someone was thinking a lot about maybe helping family or working with family, or something about how family affects the work and money and finances, or a sense of being valued, and how like to do that but also manifest this way, because this is going this way, this raccoon penis bone, and then we have the coyote claw going that way, right? So it's like someone in the past maybe was thinking a lot about both of these things, right? Which would make sense, right? We have some feminine energy all the way out here in the past, and it is interesting that they're all by themselves. And then we have the lock here, Cancer. So um, maybe right back there we were talking about that triple masculine energy with the spiritual unconscious, and now we're in work and money, and in the past, and maybe there's a blockage, or there was a blockage here in past energy with this feminine energy, because we need both, like, right? And so there's a time and a season, a reason for everything, right? So it's like there could have been some type of knowledge too that maybe someone wasn't open to in the past, okay? Because you have the book charm all the way out here, or some type of information, right? Doesn't necessarily, well, knowledge is information, but you know what I'm saying? So if someone is used to, in some sense of like, when it comes to work or money or finances or a sense of being valued, that you only always have to be aggressive, then maybe in the past that's where maybe this stagnant energy was, because sometimes we do need to be in that soft receiving energy, right? We can't just be one thing like all the time, okay? But it's it's okay, right? It's not a bad thing. And then if we go further over this way here at Cancer, now we see the balance scales, okay, Libra energy. So this could have had something to do with the Libra, where you have Libra in your chart, um, or even Libra season, right? But it's really about equal give and take in some way, or it could have something to do with in the past, something to do with the legal system or laws or rules, okay? But what I do like, okay, if there was a blockage here in the past, is when we see Saturn showing up here. Saturn is like, we're gonna work through whatever this block is. So Saturn energy, like father time energy, is getting someone or some energy serious, even more serious if you or someone else wasn't serious before, right? With the work, the money, the finances, or the sense of being valued. Sorry if you guys see all the incense smoke going through. And this could also be like in alignment with working with a teacher, a mentor, a guide here with the apple, or your own leadership qualities, okay? And look at that. I didn't even see that. Let me turn it around here so you guys can see, okay? So both of your skulls are in this section, Cancer, and work and money. One is in the past and one is in the current, present, future energies, right? And what I really like, what is next to it, and I'll pull it out so you can see it a little better, is this is the peace doves, okay, Cancer? So because the head was turned that way, it doesn't necessarily matter, you just couldn't see it. It's almost like I want the mind to be at peace with something almost, right? Like, because if we look on this side, sorry, I'm trying to get a better angle, is the skull is also right next to the coffin, and then we have the cup, okay? So the coffin, just like the skeleton hand that we were talking about earlier, is another symbol for passed on loved ones, friends, family, ancestors, spirit guides, what have you. And there being a lot of emotion about this. So someone may be thinking about somebody that's passed on, or just in general, they're like getting a little bit, or you getting a little bit emotional on one side, but then on the other side there's like a peaceful energy with that, okay? So maybe it's like coming to peace or terms with something here, okay? Because I also think that Cancer, when we go back this way a little bit, we haven't talked about that. This is the other big part of the fish vertebrae, okay? And it was on the black mat like this in the more future, current, present energies, if it would stay. But anyway, this is about now our support system, possibly with work, money, finances, or sense of being valued. So this could be coworkers, this could be a boss, this could be, still romantic partner, friends and family, what have you, whatever our support system is for these things, okay? And the need to go with the flow here. Because what I see, and I didn't even necessarily need to see this, because we know the majority of your bones and charms are in these two sections. But here we see it very clearly. Cancer is a big, transformation happening with the work or at work here, okay? Beautiful butterfly showing up there. So that would make sense with all the bones and charms that we see, okay? Now, where else? This, because we're going to keep going down the line this way, right? Because all these things cross over and they also apply here. So I'm just going to move this again over because it's so fuzzy and covers everything. Okay, but yeah, we have the turkey wishbone here right on the line as well. So whatever wishes that you or someone else or the energy is showing that you may have for work or money or finances, there's a lot of good luck with those wishes. There's a beautiful sense of freedom and possibly abundance, okay, on the other side. But remember that we said there was a little bit of irresponsibility energy going on here, okay? So maybe someone or an energy isn't being all the way responsible with the work, the money, the finances, or sense of being valued, okay? But it could be that that's affecting the individual, effort or power that we feel at work or with the work, the money, the finances, or it's the other way, and it could just be the community is feeling it, the coworkers, the boss, the family, something like that, okay? But it's still like the irresponsibility energy is there, but then there's still abundance and freedom, right? So I would look at that as a catalyst too, okay? Um, so if we continue with that kind of aggressive, more proactive, assertive energy, going back this way again with the coyote penis bone and the raccoon penis bone, and then the crown being over there on its side, it's like, okay, can we accept or yeah, I guess accept would be the right word, accept a higher up person, that person that has more knowledge or confidence than us to help us with something here, or can we accept the new responsibility if we take off the irresponsibility and just make it responsibility, right? Can we accept it? Can we put that crown on our head, right? Because maybe your spiritual team is saying yes, but sometimes, like I said before, when we were talking about the spiritual unconscious, if we are questioning too much the happiness, then yeah, then it's hard to kind of accept this new responsibility, especially if things are changing a lot at work or with the money, the finances, the sense of values or being valued, okay? But all that beautiful good luck there too, okay? Um, and so if we go back down this way, we have that Pisces twin fish, okay, that went through the safety pin. So this could be something about a Pisces with work or money or finances. But it could also be just needing to go with the flow, and that to trust whatever these changes are, to trust this transformation. It's like, um, Cancer, if you're a water sign, sun sign Cancer, you got a lot of Cancer in your chart and you're watching this. Well, Pisces is a water sign too. So it's like weird. It's like I almost, even though it's showing as Pisces, it almost feels like that's you, Cancer, right? Like you are safe to Hermes, please no. You are safe here, Cancer, to go through this transformation, or with the other person or the energy, whatever it is. Because again, now we have the fork and we're talking about it this way. So it's like, what are we digesting in our work environment? What are we digesting in our financial environment or a sense of being valued environment here with the fork? Because that's a big part of the puzzle. This could have something now to do with travel, okay, for work or with the work, the money, the finances. Maybe there's something that we're not seeing here yet, or the travel plans or something about this hasn't been like finalized yet, okay. And maybe that's, you know, putting someone, trying to think of the right way to say it, putting someone or some energy um, in their feelings, right? Because maybe they're like, well, what about time with my children, right? Children in the 3D physical world, or time with, even if they aren't your children, Cancer, someone else's children. Or it could just be a childlike energy, like, well, I want to finalize these travel things because I want to, embrace my inner child and I want to travel or whatever it may be. But this this thing that we don't know, that isn't finalized yet, or we don't have all the information with the cat's eye and the baby, there's still good luck on the other side. You have good luck on both sides. Here's the green lucky rabbit's foot. It's touching all these things. It's touching this. And then you have the four-leaf clover. So whatever that is, again, it doesn't look like super concerning, right? Keep trusting in the changes in the transformation. Now, if we go this way, again, if there's a wish or group of wishes here, Cancer, for more freedom with the work, with the money, the finances, what have you, that would make sense too. Like maybe it's like freedom to go see the children or the family or something here. But these wishes and goals really, they affect our whole like work money environment here with the spider web, because remember the bow and arrow is kind of pointing to that spider and that spider web. Okay, so I don't think that that's a bad thing, right? And your loved ones, okay, perhaps want to support you with this, okay, and if we follow, well, it's just right. I was trying to see because I might have slightly moved it. But yeah, that Cupid, remember, is pointing to the word spiritual on the map. Even though we're talking about work and money, it could be like your loved ones are like, well, you need to do this thing that's non traditional, or you need to do something that, you know, you're naturally good at, okay? Because again, going with the Leo energy, it could be like maybe you don't like to be in the spotlight. For some Cancers, when it comes to work or money or finances, maybe that doesn't feel like naturally something that you like, but maybe you need to accept the award or accept the, you know, whatever it is, right? It could be awards, it could be a raise, it could be a spotlight on you, or just, a lot of thank yous or something here. I don't know. But for each individual, since it's a general reading, but it could also be that your loved ones want you to have more passion and creativity with your work, your money, or your finances too, because they all kind of go back that way as well. Now, put this back, roughly where it was. Now, the other thing here, Cancer, is remember I said whatever is in the center circle affects all the different areas, right? So in the center, we had that bobcat tooth with the star and then the feather. So boundaries, right? If we have boundaries with our work, the money, the finances, or our sense of being valued or not valued, if we have stronger boundaries like that with the bobcat tooth, just like a real cat, right? They'll let you know how they feel. If you get too close and they're not in the mood or whatever, that's going to help you or someone else like keep following your 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 path, your career path, let's say, or keep following your North Star with your finances, okay? So I definitely like that as well. A little bit of clearing here. We already know that from before, okay? But it could be clearing like if you're setting up, let's say, some new boundaries, or solidifying old boundaries or something, then that could just be clearing away the people that may take some time to adjust to that, or even just you yourself, okay? But I like that too. All right. Okay, so let me just make sure we covered everything in that section. I think so. Yeah. Okay, so I want to move to the body and mental health, and then we'll end with relationships and love. I'm going to move this little chair over just so I don't forget to talk about it, okay? And then pull some of this stuff that was down here too, okay? So, if you saw me when I was casting your bones and charms earlier, Cancer, um, this coin fell out. I think it was the last thing that fell out. Yeah, yeah, it was. Okay. And when it fell out, I kind of had to hit the table to stop it from falling off the table. So if it was a yes and then I hit it, I know it flipped. So that is a message in itself about something here, okay? Now we're in body and mental health. This could be your body and mental health or someone else's, okay? But this is past energy down here, all right? We'll put the pen again where roughly the dotted line is. So I feel like in the past with someone's body or mental health, it could have gone one way or the other. Like it could have been like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. Like it could have been the health could have gone really good or it could have gone really bad. Like, I don't know. There's something here with that flipped kind of energy, okay? But it did kind of fall on the no in the past. So remember, I've said this before in some other readings is like sometimes if you get a no, it's a protection thing. Even though it may look scary, it's still an angel, right? And so it could have been a no for the past, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a no for the future. Okay. Now we did have some good luck here showing up in the past as well with the alligator claw, street, someone reaching and striving for like the body and mental health in the future as well. So if there was past bad health in one or both of these areas, that could also be a catalyst for then someone or some energy to be like, okay, how do I make it better? Okay. Now, there could have also been something here, Cancer, about either traveling for body or mental health with that ship charm or being near water, okay? And then having more flexibility just in general, like for if there was some travel, like let's say you had to travel to a doctor, whether it's a physical doctor or a mental health doctor for someone or for yourself. Okay, there's this flexibility coming in and saying, okay, well, don't be stubborn. Like, if you got to go a little bit further, like maybe you should still do it. Okay, just as an example, it doesn't have to be that. Okay, I do really like here too, Cancer, that now we have, if you had that no in the past, now in the future, current, present energies, we've got the key charm. So now possibly some answers coming in about body and mental health, okay? And that could make someone like emotional, right? Whether it's good or bad emotions, we do have the water charm here showing up, okay? It could also be that I'm also hearing for some people, this is weird because I never usually get it that way, but maybe you even just need to drink more water. I don't know. Um, but no judgment, right? There's also something possibly going on here, Cancer, where if your support system for your body and mental health or someone else's is changing, remember over here with the snake vertebrae, changing doctors, or maybe some friends were supportive before and now they're not, or maybe vice versa, etc. There is a real thinking about how to maybe to get back to a sense of purity, like how do I get the right support, okay? Because you have um backbone vertebrae, a deer tooth, and then you have another whale backbone or vertebrae. So it's like support, thinking, support, but also getting back to a sense of purity because I consider deer like this very gentle animal, okay? Something about the gentleness there, or if there's support, like it should be easy. It shouldn't be, yeah, it just should be easy, is what I'm hearing. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera a little bit this way. Now, up here, Cancer, we had the chair, right? It was a little bit higher, but I just moved it down so you could see it. This is about home, right? And so there could be something about the home, like whether something within our home where we live, house, apartment, etc., right? Or it could be, where do we feel at home in our body and our mental health? But it was just kind of up here on its own. So it doesn't feel like super significant, but it's there, right? Our home environment does affect these things. That's normal, okay? But I also feel that, over time, there's something about some memories here, definitely showing up if we go this way, right? Because now we have the rope charm and the elephant, okay? So elephants for me represent memories, because elephants never forget. So over time, there's something here about memories of health, okay, with the body and mental health, that again maybe need some new boundaries around that, okay, with that bobcat tooth, and just some clearing and cleansing. So maybe it's setting new boundaries with yourself, okay, to be more healthy with the body and mental health, or maybe it's other people, or both, whatever it is. Um, Excuse me, but I feel that this is your least active section, okay, if we pull back and look at everything. So, again, when you get that key and that lock and some answers coming in here, it doesn't mean you still don't have stuff to do, but Spirit may want you to focus on, or life is just making you focus on these other things more in general, too. Okay, so now, Cancer, let's go ahead and move into um, the last section here for you, relationships and love. All right. Um, and so you don't really have anything like further out. Sorry, I moved the incense box over. You don't have too much here in the past. Okay. You have, some things on the lines on both sides, but nothing too far out in the past that really wants to be talked about just yet. Okay. But the main thing I'm seeing, is really cute, is you got that turtle there, okay? Cancer. So there may be, and this is all types of love. Again, this is romantic, platonic, self love. There may need to, God, I can't talk. Let me slow down. There may be a need to go slow within one of these relationships, or all of them, okay? And that's okay, right? Because spirit, your spiritual team, is showing up here with the skeleton hand, and perhaps they want you to focus on, you know, manifesting, that crown for you, okay? So remember how I said before, when we were talking about work and money, or even spirituality, like putting that crown on yourself. First, it could be self love. It could also be working with a higher up, or someone that has more knowledge or confidence than you. It could also be your own leadership qualities showing up here, Cancer. Because now, when we see that irresponsibility coin and it's in the heart on the mat, this is the heart chakra for me. So if someone was irresponsible with your heart, or you were irresponsible with someone else's, right? You can take it either way. Whatever that energy is, okay, let's see, remember kind of what was under it and move things over a little bit. Okay, so this honeybee was underneath it. It was like more like that. I probably moved it slightly, but it's all good. So this is that individual power and community power. So we have our individual power. We are responsible for ourselves. We don't want to be irresponsible. We want to be responsible for ourselves in how we show up in our relationships, but also how does the other person or people show up too, right? So there is a proactive, assertive energy around that with the coyote penis bone. There is abundance around it with the money bags. Okay, so I definitely like that. And there is, yeah, like wanting more freedom. Okay, if we go this way, the turkey wishbones crossing the line also applies this way. And that raccoon penis bone, and then the freedom handcuffs, and some challenges over here with that mountain charm. If there were some challenges in one relationship or multiple, the wish could be like, let's have less challenges, right? Let's have more sense of freedom. Let's have more good luck, right? If that was back where it was. So here, Cancer, I feel that, you know, if there's some questions, okay, going back to that question mark, questions about, will I be happy? Can I trust this happy energy that wants to come in? Or can I be assertive or aggressive about being happy in my relationships? Um, if we go this way, it's saying, working with that Pisces energy to feel safe in the relationships, is there's a need to go with the flow. You can ask questions. That's normal. It's okay to have questions, right? Because over here with the fork, what am I digesting in terms of my romantic relationships? What am I digesting in terms of my platonic relationships with friends and family? What am I digesting in terms of myself, relationship with myself, right? All these things. It's a big part of the puzzle piece, okay? And this can lead to a lot of movement and travel, even. But the big wish for freedom is like, maybe here, Cancer, you or someone else doesn't want like these rigid ideas of relationships, or doesn't want, I don't know, it's less about what you don't want, I guess, and it's more about what you do want, okay? And so maybe the wishes and the goals are, affecting your whole relationship environment, and then it goes back to the people that love you, like, do want you to be yourself, right? With the hummingbird again, it's like, or they want you to do something non-traditional, or they want you to have passion and creativity in your relationships, okay? So yeah, I feel like it's less about what you don't want and more about what you do want, okay? Because we know there's good luck on the other side, right? Um, and then if there is, you know, something about like not having all the information, okay, in terms of like, this could be 3D physical world children, yours or someone else's, or it could be a childlike energy, okay? So, you know how kids sometimes can be um, more able to handle the changes than let's say so-called adults are, because they're not set in their ways, right? They haven't been at the same job for a number of years, and they haven't had a history of how their parents raised them, and blah 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 blah. So it's like, maybe here, Cancer, something about the not knowing, the unknown, like it's okay to be like that, and not know all the answers, right? Because there's still good luck and movement and all these things, okay? I hope that makes sense. Now, if we go back this way, um, here we have again the bobcat tooth, okay? We've got the star, and then we have the feather. So here, Cancer, this is like almost having boundaries within your relationships or someone else, or the energy, is going to help you like hone in on which relationships make you feel more like yourself, right? Following your North Star in terms of your relationships. Okay. There's also, of course, that need to clear or cleanse or sweep away things that are no longer needed or resonate within your relationships, something like that. Okay. But just want to make sure I talked about everything there. I think so. Um, but yeah, really, really interesting read here, Cancer. And again, I want to say happy early birthday, depending on when you watch this. If it's, after in June we've switched to Cancer, then, happy early birthday. But yeah, really nice. I'm gonna take a picture here and I'll make sure that I post it later on my Facebook page if you want to look at it again. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna put the camera back up for a little bit, and I think I keep wanting to do like 2 readings per video, but Spirit, for whatever reason, is not going to happen. So since I went a little bit over this time, I think I'll take a short break and then come back with Leo. So I'll change the title again of this one. But, you know, that's just the way it happened and the cookie crumbled, so to speak. But anyway, enjoy this time period, Cancer. And please like and share and subscribe. They're all free ways to support my channel, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or eventually TikTok and all that good stuff. So anyway, I will come back in a little bit with Leo, guys, and I want you to take care. All right, see you later. Bye.